people, we're back after maybe, is it 2 weeks, Mark? Hiatus.
Like that, innit, mate?
Yeah, I've been in, had a little op. Sorry, people, been recovering. Hope everyone's well. What is it now? Saturday today, 4 days until the Europa League Cup final, gentlemen. Philly, lovely to have you here, mate. How have you been?
I'm good, mate. It's nice to be back. And like you, I was recovering from laryngitis, and now I'm back and, well, I love my voice again. But it's nice to be back with you guys and Nige and Dan Alice and everybody else. I'm looking forward to catching up with for a lost time.
Nice one, Phil. Glad to have you here, mate. Nige, how are you, mate? Long time no see.
Good, mate. Yeah, glad to see you on the mend. And yeah, big up, Sheriff. See you on the road all the time now, mate.
Yes,
so,
yes.
Good to see you out the way.
Up by you, wasn't I, mate?
You was, yeah. And big up Philly as always, and big up chat.
Excellent stuff. Excellent. Sheriff, I take it you've been all right, mate?
Yeah. I've been more worried about you, mate.
Oh, yeah. I'm all
Obviously
right,
started work, mate.
That's
Started work. That's going all right.
Yeah, I was going to say, is the work going all right? You doing all right
Yeah.
on the old night shift?
Yeah, well, yeah. It's all right, man.
It's all right.
It's all right. I enjoy it, man.
Good.
Only if I've got a phone signal, though.
It's no good being out where you are, mate, at work, and you can't watch a match or listen to a podcast or something.
Yeah, man.
You know what I mean?
You know what happened. You know what happened that first game against Bodo, mate, when I was trying to phone you because I didn't even know the score, man. No signal whatsoever. Furious. I was tempted to phone 999. Can you tell me the football score? Because you can get through with that, can't you? With no phone signal. Phone them up. What's the problem? I don't know the football score. How's Tottenham getting on?
Brilliant. Oh, fantastic stuff. Well, is anyone in the chat, Mark, apart from Nige? I can see at least one person that's put a comment.
Yeah, there is, mate.
That is.
Yeah.
Hey?
Yeah, Luke's here, mate.
Big up, Luke. Thanks for popping in, mate. Nice to see you. We'll speak soon.
Yeah, big up, mate. Yeah, Luke and
is that Nige Geezer again? Seen him in the chat before. Yeah.
And Shorts 81. Welcome back. Please, you're on the men. Big up.
There you go. Thanks, Shorts.
Yeah.
Cheers, mate.
Yeah. Go
on, Mark.
Do you want to start about what went on, mate? Just to give people a little heads up what went on.
No, I just had a little shoulder operation.
Hang on, mate. It's not a little one, is it? You've been suffering with that for bloody years.
Well, went in on Tuesday. They've been in there, gone in the back, done this, done that, done whatever, and physio in a sling for 6 weeks. That's about it, really, and then see what happens after that.
Yeah.
There's a few other bits and pieces they've got to do later on, but this was sort of one that's been going on for a while. So hopefully they said it's all done, all happy. Just it
was all successful, was it?
Yeah, with what they did. Yeah, they was very happy with what they did. So
happy days, mate.
Just got physio now and see how it goes. That's it, really.
Yeah, happy days, man.
Yeah.
So hopefully you're mended. Bionic man.
Hopefully on the way. Yeah, brilliant stuff. Yeah, very happy indeed to have it done. Anyway,
I'm happy for that. I'm happy for that, mate, because I know you're in a lot of pain. So now, hopefully, you've had this surgery now. So now it's just better days ahead for you, my friend.
I hope so, Phil. Thank you very much, man. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Lovely words. Cheers.
Just go through the rest of the comments, mate.
Yeah. Crack on, man.
Ryan G. Evening, mate.
Big up, Ryan. Big up, mate.
Lisa Davis.
Oh, Lisa. Nice to see you.
Pub later, Lisa.
Yeah.
Bring a bell.
I hopefully will be in the pub, even if it's for a bit, Nige, later on. I promise I will make an appearance. Promise.
Yeah, just see how you feel, mate.
Yeah, it's all right. I'll
see how your arm is and stuff.
Yeah, it's all cool, man. Yeah, I just want to say, I know you're going through the thing, Mark, but just to let everyone know in the chat, in case I do seem a bit weird, I am on a lot of painkillers. all right, just so everyone knows. So, I mean, I don't mean if I'm sitting here slurring and dribbling, I won't be doing that. But I am proper loaded up with painkillers, just to let everyone know. You know,
Are these for sale at all?
You know, eh?
Are these for sale at all? I'm just asking for a friend.
They're always for sale.
That's a standard night for Sheriff, isn't it? Standard Saturday night.
What?
Oh man,
What? Sat down dribbling?
We've gone early.
Yeah, this ain't mud in the pub yet.
No.
I'm not going to say nothing about both of you. Both you and Nige, yeah. I watched your adventures in the pub, mate, and no, you have to look at the women around you. You're just something else. You two got some good adventures, man.
Yeah.
It's brilliant. It's brilliant, isn't it? I love it. I think it's great, man. Especially when these two are out on the road.
Yeah.
We will be again soon.
It's great. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we got to get round to that again. Nige, go out for a beer sometime.
We'll do it in a couple of weeks. I'll come up to Yeovil.
Eh?
Oh, you're coming down, are you, mate?
Oh, yeah, I'll come see you, mate, this time.
Well, it's piss all down here, mate. Well, there's half a dozen pubs, but they're a bit spread out. We'll have to get taxis and crap.
Right. Let's talk anyway, let's talk football.
Yeah,
that's enough of
right.
that. We'll save that for later on.
Yeah, Daniel's here. Big up, mate. Big up, Daniel.
Big up, Dan. Hope you're all right, mate.
Yeah.
Oh. There you go, Lisa.
Bloody hell was that?
There you go. He's going through the chat. Happy days.
Future's bright. Future's lily white. Evening, mate. Oh.
Yeah.
Lisa's going to be in the pub.
Yeah. What's the other's excuses then? Let's get on with this subject. Yeah. Let's talk football. Come on, let's talk football. Yeah. We'll start with today. We won't even start with Spurs.
No.
I personally didn't watch the final today. I was doing other stuff, but I'm reliably informed that these three lads have had a little look. So give us your thoughts, chaps, about Palace winning today. Whoever wants to go.
Well, I'm going to let you guys go first because I've got something special for this one, mate. So
all right.
you guys go first.
Go on, then. Go on, Nigel, Mark. Go for it.
Right. First of all, it was great to see Palace win. Great to see Palace win. Seeing as they ain't won nothing, have they? I believe this is our first trophy.
Yeah.
You know, it's always nice to see the underdog win, but it just goes to show what I took for the game is Palace only had 22% possession, Man City 78, and it just goes to show possession's not everything. It's what you do when you got the ball, you know? And the way Palace set up was unbelievable. You know, defending, organisation, just sat there. Whenever Man City got near their goal, there was a player on the player who had the ball. Anyone who moved about in the City team, there was a player on them. It was, honestly, that Glasner is a hell of a manager. And I pray that we get him.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah, I second that. I think Palace were absolutely fantastic today. Set up properly, defended well.
Mm-hmm.
You know, man for man, they wanted it. That Munoz who plays fullback is some player. I would love him at Spurs.
And that Richards.
I'd probably take eight of those Palace players would get straight in that Spurs team right now.
And that Richards, isn't it?
Brilliant today. Yeah. Great goal from Eze. They could have had a few more. Henderson, brilliant in goal. And the only thing I will say is that Newcastle beat Liverpool in the League Cup final, underdogs. First trophy they've won for a very long time. We have Palace winning their first major trophy, underdogs against City. And apparently, if you agree with the bookies, we're the underdogs against United on Wednesday. So maybe it's written in the stars. Maybe.
Maybe. You never know. I have checked the odds on the old Betfair, and United are just favourites. They're just favourites for the game. According to the bookies.
I'm just thinking that Spurs were favourite for the competition all season, so I'm just thinking that's a bit weird here that the final they just turned it around and made Man United the favourites.
Yeah. There's not a lot in it, but they are just favourites. Well, on Betfair anyway, they're just favourites.
Well, it is. Is it 17th against 16th in the league? And so they are slightly better than us.
A point.
Maybe that's what it is.
Come on, Phil. Let's hear it, Phil. Come on.
Now comes the best of all, because I'm sorry, I've been waiting for long. You know me, Cookmaster. Yeah, because I've had no voice here. I've been waiting to say this for a long time. Here it comes. 5 times, like Booker T. 5 times. 5 years for Arteta. You've won nothing, my man. You spent near enough £750 million and you've won nothing. Eddie Nketiah, you got rid of him. You binned him to Crystal Palace. And in the first season at Crystal Palace, the King of Zamunda has won a trophy, and Arsenal have won nothing again for another season. How shameful is that for Arsenal fans? Let's just big that up, man. Eddie Nketiah, the Arsenal reject, has won a trophy before Super Duper Mick Arteta. That's shameful, bro. Where we going with this now? How many excuses do we have to hear for Super Duper Mick? This is a bad manager, dude. You've had so much money. You've not won one trophy, not even a League Cup, bro. What we doing here? Now, Crystal Palace, fair play to them. And this is another one of shameful moments for Mr. Levy, because we could have bought Eze when we were negotiating with QPR for Jack Clark and sending him on loan to QPR. We could have got Eze. And today, Eze has proved that what a big game player he is. In the biggest move for Crystal Palace in their history, they've never won a trophy in their history. Today, Eze stood up here and was counted and scored the most important goal in the biggest game for Crystal Palace. Big up to Eze. And anyone who watched him at QPR could see what kind of player he was. He had talent. You could see he was ready for the big time. Crystal Palace took the chance with him, and you can see. And today they've been rewarded. So congratulations to Crystal Palace, and congratulations to Eze and to Eddie Nketiah as well, the King of Zamunda. Congratulations to him too for winning a trophy. And congratulations to all the players that played there and all the supporters who for Crystal Palace. I remember them growing up here and seeing them lose to Arsenal, in the was it the Milk Cup or the Zenith Cup back in the 90s?
Yeah,
they got close in the finals, and then they lost it. Right, but this time they went over the line. So congratulations to Crystal Palace.
They lost to Man United as well, didn't they?
Yeah.
1990, was it?
Yeah. I mean, I'll echo what Phil says there. Congratulations to Palace. Proper manager. Obviously, players that listen to their manager. Coached properly. Proper tactics. Obviously, it doesn't work in every game, but you can see what he's trying to do. And where are they in the league? They've won the FA Cup and 10th, something like that.
Well, we'll have a look on my phone, mate, if I can find it.
9th or 10th, something like that. They are wherever they are.
What
a job he's done.
Of us, anyway.
Who was their first win against Cookmaster this season? Because
Oh,
they had a run before they played a certain team, didn't they?
Yeah.
Palace to 12th, mate.
Oh, are they 12th? Sorry. Well, 12th, comfortably 12th, and won the FA Cup. Congratulations to them.
But they've still got 11 more points than us.
Yeah. So there you go. Well done to them. Well done to them. We'll skirt over quickly because I do want to spend most of the time on the United game on Wednesday, and we'll just have a little chit chat about our squad in general as well after that. What was everyone's thoughts about the Villa game, and did it really matter to fans? Or, I mean, it mattered to me. Every game matters as far as I'm concerned. It don't matter, it's 3.1 million. Every place you drop, every place you go up. So you can look at it in whatever way, shape or form that you want to. But your chaps' thoughts on the Villa game Friday night, please?
Let me start this one. I'm going to say that it was a nothing game to me in terms of relevancy. Because I'm looking at Tottenham here. Then what they needed was to play this game here, so the players can get some fitness and some minutes in their legs. Mm-hmm. The likes of Van de Ven for me needed the minutes in their legs, but unfortunately, yeah, he wasn't chosen. I'm sure he wasn't playing last night. But that would have been good for him to get the minutes in his legs. Because how much game time has he had since he's come back from injury? Because I'm worried about this man there. I think it's only a matter of time before he breaks down like Cooley did. Where you've been rushed back here, but you've not had the game time, so you've not had the minutes in your legs to get the fitness back. There's a difference between, and I've said this on your show before, and I've said it on Dan Alice's show as well. There's a difference between fitness here and match fitness. Yeah. And you only get match fitness here by playing in games. Otherwise, yeah, you'll become rusty, bro. And then you get gas. And people can see the moment that you get gas, and that will lead to more injuries. So therefore, it's best to just let them have a little run out there and just get some minutes in their legs. That's why I looked at the game, for the manager to experiment with something as well. That was what these two games were for Ange to throw something in the mix here and say, well, right, we're missing this player, we're missing X player, we're missing Maddison, we're missing Kulu potentially. Let me go and try something up. Let me use these two games here to put something together, like a strategy, and try and see if we can work on, let's see if we can use that in a match before the game against Man United. Because we're going to have to change the way we play anyway, because we're going to have players out, and creativity is going to be very limited without having Maddison in there, because I think he's the most creative player in our squad by a mile. There was no one else as creative as him in that squad. And for me, yeah, we're going to have to find different ways if we're going to beat Man United on Wednesday.
Nigel, your thoughts, mate?
I just answered David's point.
Sorry,
and was it what's his name? Is it Robert? No, what's his bloody name? I forgot now. I had it just a minute ago.
Richards,
that's him. Yeah, the American lad.
Yeah,
played well.
Yeah,
played well.
He was bloody brilliant.
Yeah, on yesterday, slightly different to Philly. I'm glad that he rested Van de Ven, just because I think he's going to break down every time I watch him play. So if he can not break down in the game, that's great. He may break down against United, but at least he's on the pitch to start with. But I would have got legs in the likes of Romero and other players. I don't see a need to rest everybody. United played a full-strength side pretty much against Chelsea.
Yeah.
They're now... they're ticking over. They're playing together. They're used to the way they play. For me, the game was a bit of nothing because so many changes. We looked disjointed as always. Nice to see Sonny get some minutes, but the result didn't. I think as Spurs fans, we got so used to losing. The results don't affect us anymore. We concede goals. I don't feel anything. I think I probably will Wednesday if we concede, but in the league, it just feels so meaningless. But I hate being 17th at the same time. So I was just happy it was only 2 in the end, to be honest, because I think Villa, they toyed it. I think once they got their first goal, I think they were happy. They just toyed with us.
Yeah.
But didn't Villa have many chances? They just were wasteful. I was listening to commentary of the game. I didn't watch the game myself. Because I just said, you know what, Villa need to win this game because they want Champions League football. While Spurs, are just basically just preparing for the final. So they just, like you said, they're just getting minutes in their legs here. But for me, that was the case for Spurs. But when you look at it, when you look at the scoreline there, Villa had chances to score, and we were lucky in some cases. That's what I'm hearing anyway.
Yeah, no, they did. They did have quite a few chances, but I do think they huffed and puffed for a lot of it. They looked nervous first half. Kinski made a couple of good saves, but I think they looked nervous. I think if we had a full side out there, we could well have beaten them. But I think when we got our first goal, that was it.
Was it the first half when Sonny was clean through and he should have shot and he went to square it and he squared it and nobody? Obviously,
Yeah.
I was working.
I see one where he went down the left-hand side and Moore was flying in and someone else was flying in and it was behind them, sort of.
Yeah.
I saw that one. I saw a clip of the Odibert chance where he done the old twist and back heel thing. Martinez saved it. I mean, to be fair to him, he's caught it clean. Do you know what I mean? And on a lot of days, that might have gone in. Do you know what I mean? It might have just been one of them that didn't go at the keeper. It's sort of gone in off the post or something, you know, because you never know exactly where they're going, do you? Because you're not facing the goal.
Like you say, if he probably hadn't called it so cleanly, it probably would have gone in.
Yeah, you're probably right, Nige. You're probably right. It's just one of them, isn't it? But that Villa did have, you know, from the clips, the highlights I've seen, Villa did have chances, even though you was right, Nige. They had a lot of possession, didn't they? They did have a few chances. I mean, it could have been more, but we could have scored maybe two, maybe. I don't know with the couple of chances that we had, but I think Villa were dominant from what I've seen anyway. But anyway, look, listen, Mark, did you want to say anything on the Villa game before we move on?
Just a couple of good evenings.
Go on then, mate.
David Clark, correspondent in Leicester.
Big up, David.
Big up, mate. And
Matty K's in the house.
Should you not be revising, mate?
Yeah, get revising, Matty. Behave yourself.
Well, actually, let me do something quickly. Congratulations to Matty K, because he got one over on Southall, because he actually said Crystal Palace would beat Man City. So congratulations to Matty K as well, because he can get some things right too. So congratulations to Matty.
Big up, Matty. Well done, mate.
Yeah, it's a shame we ain't got super chats because he could put that fiver in his super chat. He won off Sava.
He's gone double or nothing, he says.
Oh, is it? I must have missed that bit.
Yeah. 2 comments down. He's gone double or nothing.
Hang on. Yeah, this is it. That Palace had today what Spurs have been lacking for years. A team full of athletes and players who are great in the air defensively. Yeah. Well, to be honest, they've got the players, and a lot of it, I believe, is the manager because he sets them up properly. Like, how many times do you see the ball going into the Palace box and there was a City player stood there on his own? Like there is when we play. All the time it happens when we play. Like one of the opposition stood there on his own and you think what's going on here? You know, but there was none of that today. All right, Man City played some good football and they did sort of get in now and again. But as soon as they thought, oh, this is going to be a chance, Palace player, boom, straight on him. I remember one in the second half where I can't remember where it is, but if he'd have stuck out his weak foot and toe poked it, he might have scored.
Yeah.
But he tried to control it and get it on his left foot, and they blocked him immediately. It was only a split second. They were on him. Blocks everywhere. This is what it goes to show how a team can play when you're set up correctly. You know, right, big up the Palace, they won, but none of their players, well, apart from Eze, none of their players are really like stand out. You think, oh, I got to have him in my team. You know what I mean?
Well, I would hate to differ, but I would love to have Mark Weahy in my team. I'm sorry.
All right, yeah. Right, Eze. Do
you know what? I actually feel sorry for him, because even though Crystal Palace are winners tonight, I have a feeling that man is going to be out. I have a feeling that man's going to be out for a while because he got injured in that final, and that's heartbreaking for him as a player as well. That he got injured in that final, but like I said, in one part he's a winner, but the other part, then
what I was trying to say, Philly, is none of their team, they're not real household names, are they? That you'd think, oh yes, yeah, but it's just the players they've got, they're set up properly. They haven't got someone that, like, I don't know.
They haven't got well beat as Crystal Palace, but they've got some.
That's what I meant.
They've got like Wharton, in the centre of the midfield, and he's come in there under Glasgow, and has established himself as an England international. And they've got Mark Weahy. For me, he was England's player of the Euros in the centre back position, and even this season he stepped up on that. And like I said, today he's a winner of the FA Cup, but at what cost to him in his career? Because I think he could have got a good move this summer if he wasn't injured. But because he's now injured, he might stay at Crystal Palace another year. And for me, that's starting for him.
Yeah, what David Clark here said is exactly bang on. You know, Glasner was leading his troops. When does Ange ever do that for us?
We don't, mate.
And so hope Glasner comes to
We've been pointing it out for so long, haven't we, that, you know, everyone's different. Everyone wants to see different things in their manager and what he does on the touchline. Some people want screamers. Some people want, you know, finger pointing, direction, you know, purposeful. Some will call players over now and again, you know, have a word in their shell to give directions. We never see any of that, do we?
Ange ain't like that, mate. He's too busy arguing with the fans.
Even when there's breaks in play, Mark, we've said it before.
Yeah.
Even when there's been breaks in play for 4 or 5 minutes, you never see a player come to Ange. He'll never call a player over and say, da-da-da-da-da. If any players go to anyone, they go to Mason or Wells. They don't go to him.
Yeah, but that's young players need the guidance. This is why I didn't want young players coming into the squad under Ange. Young players need guidance, but they're not getting the guidance from him. You'd get more out of a waxwork model like Madame Tussauds than you would out of Ange on the touchline. That's how sad he is, bro. He stands there with his hands folded, man, and he's just looking like an angry headmaster. Bro. That's what I see when I see Ange on the touchline, bro. He don't say nothing, bro. And then you've got young players like Archie Gray, like Bergvall, who need the manager to say, you know what, this is what you need. I want you to do, how I want you to play. He's not even doing that, brother. He's standing there angry. Nah, get out of here, man. He's not. No, not for me, man. Not for me. I can't stand it.
I can't say I disagree with anything you've just said there, Phil, man. I can't. I want to come back at you with something, but I can't. There's nothing there. It's just spot on, isn't it? It's just, but again, we all want everyone, you know, there'll be some people that say, well, I'm happy just to see him there. You know, he's letting it all sink in and probably has him in the dressing room at half time, says he's bit. So some people like that sort of stuff, you know. For me, I'd rather see an active manager on the sideline, like you've said, instructing your troops, if you like. You know what I mean? Because players ain't deaf, even if they're not looking over, acknowledging what the manager's saying. Do you know what I mean? They're hearing it.
Yeah.
They're screaming it, they're hearing it. You know what I mean? So
this is another comment here, mate. What stood out today with Palace is there wasn't one player I looked at and thought that player looks like he's out of position.
Yeah.
No, there wasn't. You could tell. Just the team that, all right, is that the Spurs way? Well, what is the Spurs way? To be honest, the Spurs way this season has been losing every week. To be honest, hasn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
You know,
I mean, it is what
it's been losing every week. So,
but when you look at Palace,
you know,
not one player in Palace that you can say the Spurs could be fine. Every player at Palace here, Spurs could have signed them in any way, shape, or form, but it just didn't want to go to. It just didn't go down there, them paths. They would rather go lower than that, and that's the bit that's the worrying bit. It's that you could have signed any player from Palace if you wanted. If Spurs wanted to, they could have signed Wharton. They could have signed. I say they could have signed any one of those players, but they just chose not to do that.
Yeah.
Just good evening to Archer. Good evening to Archer.
Big up, Archer.
Big up, mate.
Thanks for being here, man. What was I going to say? But yeah, just a quick question before we move on to the United game. Now, obviously, in our WhatsApp groups and even on the podcast, people have been talking. You know, a lot of people, as far as are concerned, and I hope it's right, that Ange will be gone at the end of the season, regardless of the result on Wednesday night. So, in the WhatsApp groups, Glasner's name's been chatted about, Xavi, Thomas Frank, Marco Silva, so on and so forth, and others as well. They're just the 4 off the top of my head. What I wanted to ask you all was about Glasner is, does us, now they've won the FA Cup and now they're in Europa League next season, they get a Europa League spot, I believe.
Yeah, dude.
Do we have to, if we want to attract a Glasner, do we have to win Wednesday night? Is it imperative that we win Wednesday night now that Palace are in Europa next year? Because if we lose, we're in nothing. So do we need that win and Champions League football to attract a Glasner, to attract a Frank, but especially a Glasner now he's got European football? What's your thoughts on that, chaps?
For me, I'll go first quickly. For me, no. What I do think, though, is that Levy's probably watching that game this afternoon thinking, shit, I want Glasner, I want Eze. They're going to cost me an extra 20 million now. You know, Eze's probably put 20 million on his price. Glasner's probably going to be asking for another couple of million a year after that. Mm-hmm. So if he wants him, he's going to have to pay more. But I still think Spurs could get them, whether they're in the Champions League or not, because regardless of one season, and let's remember, this is one season. Palace have done great. They've won the FA Cup. Congratulations. But it's the first time they've ever won a major trophy. So I still believe a club like Tottenham can attract players like Eze, Glasner, without being in Europe. But Levy is going to have to shell out more money for him.
Fair dues, fair Phil, comment that. Nice. Phil, what's your thoughts on it, mate?
Well, I'm looking at it now, and I'm thinking it depends what kind of manager Glasner is, because you have to. You're looking at. I'm looking at Crystal Palace as being a project here, and they've invested in Glasner, right? He's come in there and just won them their first trophy. Does he want to see this project out and take them on their first trip into Europe for ages and go and play in the Europa League and go and make something of the Europa League? Because remember, he actually won the Europa League with Frankfurt Glasner, so he might want to think, you know what? I've taken Crystal Palace to their first trophy domestically. Let me see if I can do it in a European stage. Now, if Spurs have no Europe next season, why would you jump from being in the Europa League with Crystal Palace? As bad as I know Palace are better. I know Tottenham are better than Palace or bigger than Palace, as a football team. But why would you want to jump from possibly going into Palace's first Europa League season to go to Tottenham, which are doing nothing? And Levy would have to shell out a lot of money for them. And I don't see Levy paying the wages to entice the man to do that. But I would love to be proven wrong. Again, this is another one where I'd love to be proven wrong. I just don't see Levy paying the money to entice Glasner to drop into the Europa League with Crystal Palace here. Spurs have no Europe next season. I can't see it.
Okay, Phil, fair comment. Well, that's you two are slightly contrasting on what you're saying, aren't you, Mark? What do you think about Glasner for next season? What position do we need to be in to attract him?
I definitely agree. It makes it more difficult now that Palace are in Europe next season. If we lose Wednesday, let's face it, we got nothing next year. The only thing we have got over Palace is we're a bigger club with a shiny stadium and a bigger infrastructure, you know what I mean? Because I know we don't act like it, but we are a bigger club than Palace.
Yeah.
You know, we are. We're probably the third biggest in London, I'd say, behind them lot and Chelsea. You know, but to be honest, even historically, we're probably bigger than Chelsea. You know, because they weren't nothing until like the oil money turned up. I remember Chelsea being in like second division and bloody God knows where. You know. Yeah. You know, it was only when the oil money turned up that they started like buying. I say winning things, but buying things. That's all they did. They bought things.
You can't say that. I'm sorry, you can't say that because I'm sure Zola came in before the money come in for them.
Yes,
I'm sure Hullet was there before the money. Hullet and Vialli and that were there before.
Ken Bates, wasn't it?
Yeah,
I think they won an FA Cup under Ken Bates.
Yeah, and Matthew Harding as well.
Yeah.
Matthew Harding.
And so I do sort of take that back, but not really. So I just don't like Chelsea.
Oh, brilliant. You lot are brilliant, man. Honestly. I love it. I love you lot when you start, because I like, we're all on the same page on a lot of stuff, on probably 95% of stuff to do with Tottenham. But I think it's great when even our opinions can be divided slightly. Do you know what I mean? On what you're all saying, I think it's great. Brilliant stuff.
Yeah.
Right. So I want to go on to, chaps, if you don't mind, Wednesday night's game. Now, for me, I know, Champions League 2019, the final and all that, we never won. So as far as I'm concerned, as we stand now, this is a massive, massive game. One of the biggest games for Spurs since 84 final. Since we won this trophy in 84, 41 years ago, right? This is massive. You've all given the reasons just in the last segment. If we don't win it, we are not in Europe next season. You can expect a shocking transfer window. Without
people leaving, mate.
There'll be no excuse. It's just going to be a nightmare if we lose on Wednesday for next season. So let's just get on to it. I'll just ask the first question, really. We know we've got players out. Can we, in some way, shape or form, beat the worst United side since probably Alex Ferguson left? They are shocking. I mean, they are bad. We're bad. We're really bad. They're closing in on really bad. Over the season, they're a point in front of us. Difference being their manager has only had, when did he come in January? Did he hammer him?
I think December.
Was it December?
Yeah, I was going to say he's had like 4 or 5 months, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's only had 4 or 5 months, hasn't he?
He only had one. They only actually got one player, one wing back in there, which is Dorgu. Is the only signing that he's made so far. But he needs a whole heap of more. He needs more defenders to play the way he plays. He needs a proper. No disrespect to Casemiro, but a younger DM than him. Because I actually watched some of Sporting this season, and for me, there's one player I do love, and I'm surprised that in our WhatsApp group, because I love our WhatsApp group. There's one player in that Sporting team that was a brilliant player, and that for me is Harman, and that is that central defensive midfielder they've got there. He is a brilliant, brilliant player, and he's a player I'd love to see at Spurs. But I could see United actually coming along and buying him as well, because he is a very, very good DM, and he's not, and he can play as an 8 as well. But he's a very good player. And they need someone like that in their midfield, because Casemiro, for me, was a good player, but he's now getting on in age now, and he's no longer the player he was. So he needs to move on, and they need to go get a DM in the summer, and then they also need to get for me, and they need to get another. We need to get some more. We need to get more wing. Someone on the right hand side. I know they got. I'll push Ahmad actually forward on the right hand side for me, but that's just fine tune. But then, like I said, United need players, so they need to win this game for them, so that they can get the rebuild that the rebuild Amarim needs. Because I reckon he's a very good manager, just that he hasn't had the window so far. I can't use that excuse for Ange. You've had 2 years, man. You've had 2 summer windows. You've had 2 January windows. Every signing that's come in there, Ange said he's happy with the signings. So what more do people want him to? What more do people? When the people are going to say, you know what, you've asked for what you've got, you've said you're happy with it, get on with it.
Yeah. Nigel, what are your thoughts? Because I know.
Can I say good evening to Rich a minute?
Oh, yeah, go on, mate.
Sorry, Big up, Rich. Big up, Rich.
Yeah, buddy.
Big up, mate. Thanks, Rich.
Thanks for booking the hotel, mate.
National coach. I love it. Yeah, first time in Europe. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe he will, Dan. Maybe he will. Yeah. He could well do.
Yeah.
Definitely, Rich. See you
Bloody
later.
hell, mate. Bloody hell, mate. First time in this chat. Mr. Coover.
Big up, Cooves.
Big up, Cooves.
Good to see you, Coover. Hope you're well.
Yeah. Bloody hell, man. team winning over Drew.
No.
Yeah, that's good, isn't it? Great to watch more teams winning overdue trophies. Dear God, let that be us. Yeah. Yeah. Very right. Yeah. I mean, what's it? 2008?
Yeah.
And the last time we won a European one, Man U was there.
Mm. Yeah.
I wasn't. I was only 13.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, I'm sorry I interrupted then. What was you saying?
Mate. You clicking through the chat, Mark. I was just going to say to Nige, I know you said that. Did you say that you'd rather play United in the final?
No, I said I'd wanted Bilbao just because of the romance of playing a European side in the European final. But for me, you know what? The last 2 or 3 finals we've been in, we've been massive underdogs. You know, you look at City in the League Cup, massive underdogs, didn't turn up. Liverpool in the Champions League, massive underdogs. Liverpool were there for the taking, but we all know what happened. We had Chelsea in the League Cup as well that we lost. Again, Chelsea were flying at that point. Massive underdogs. I just feel that this is our moment. You know, United. I got to say, I watched them the other night and I thought they looked really good. So I was like, shit, they're actually quite good. I thought they looked half decent. And Fernandes was pulling the strings. So I am worried. But I don't think we're ever going to have a better chance of winning the trophy than Wednesday night, regardless of the injuries. If they all turn up, if Ange sets us up right, I'm confident. But what worries me is the fact we've already beaten them 3 times this season. You know, the likelihood of beating them. United don't lose 4 games against one team in a season very often. So I don't know.
Where's the creativity coming from? Where's our creativity going to come from?
Are you
I think it's going to have to come from our fullbacks.
Yeah.
Are you fit to play, Matt? Because you used to be a bit of a creative.
Yeah, I'd love to play, mate, but I don't think they'll let me run around with a flappy paddle. You know what I mean? I've got no chance.
No chance. Past you were a bit of a Glenn Hoddle, mate.
Well, I wouldn't go that far, but I did like to used to get on the ball and knock it about a bit. Yeah, I did in my time. But it is what it is.
For me, against United, I would be looking to get the ball to Porro as much as I can and just keep getting him to whip those balls in.
Yeah.
And I would have Solanke, Allison, and just keep getting those balls in the box as often as possible.
Yeah, but when you just said, push Porro forward, that means that there's going to be gaps at the back for Garnacho to run into. That's the problem with pushing Porro forward, is that the more that we push Porro going forward, there's going to be more gaps for the likes of Garnacho and Ahmad to come in behind, because and that is the counter side of the creativity. This is what I was trying to say in the group chat with us earlier, is that I was thinking of first put a man marker on Bruno Fernandes here to try and nullify him in the game. But if we did that, it would drag a player out of position. Whether it's I don't want to restrict Basuma, and I don't want to pull Bentancur out of position here, because if we pull him out of position, then that will leave holes in the middle of the midfield, and then Bruno just play the passes between there, or if not Bruno, somebody else would play the passes in between the lines, and then because the person is dragged out of position, they're just going to keep going in on us. But I agree with you. Spurs will never have a better chance of beating Man United, and I hope Spurs win for the young fans like Matty K, because I feel bad for them. They've never got to see Spurs lift a trophy, so I want their Spurs to win a trophy just for them man's there, so that they can say, you know what, I got the chance to see Spurs lift a trophy, because I remember 1991, and I remember 1984, and I was lucky enough to see Spurs winning trophies. I also remember 87 too, but I remember Spurs winning trophies. Right, and that memory stays with me for the rest of my life. I remember Des Walker's diving header like it was yesterday, because that for me, is a lasting memory imprinted on my soul as a Spurs fan. But some of these kids today, they learn to drive, and they've never seen Spurs win a trophy, so they deserve it. Right,
that's shocking.
You're right.
Exactly.
You're right, Philly. I think if we keep Fernandes quiet. You're right. If we get someone on him, keep him quiet, I think Spurs win. But what we've also got to be aware of as Spurs fans is that every cup final we've been in, every cup final we've won, we've never won easy. You know, you look at Chelsea, extra time header. Forest in the cup, own goal in extra time. You know, even the 84 was a penalty shootout. We had to equalise in the last 5 minutes to get to a penalty shootout. So listen, this isn't going to be a walk in the park. We're not going to stroll this till 3-0. This is going to be edge of your seats time. And squeaky bum time, I think, Wednesday night.
I'll just say my little two pennyworth on that part of it. For me, you know he's going to set up 4-3-3, right? You know that's going to happen. Now, all I want to see, my main thing that I want to see is that when we lose that ball, the two wingers, if you like, of the three up front, drop straight away to make that 4-5-1. As soon as you've got that 5 in midfield, that is how you will deal with Fernandez.
Yep.
Trust me.
Yeah.
Because when those midfielders, are dropping back to make that 5, that means you've got 3 in the centre then, because those 2 that would be there are coming in to help the central man. Right? That is just natural. That for me is the main thing. Be solid when we haven't got the ball. We did it against Frankfurt away. As soon as we lost the ball, Tell and Duflanger Johnson were bang. They were back. They don't do it in league games, but they were back. They were dropping straight back in. And that is what I want to see. Whoever's playing on the wings, drop back in, nullify Fernandez, because we all know that he is their danger. And I think that's the only way we do that. If we just play with 3 in midfield and they're not dropping off, I think we'll get hammered.
No, right.
He'll have too much space.
Let's just say good evening to the Queen. Have we got to stand up and play national anthem or something?
Hello, Ellie.
Oh, big up, Ellie. Good evening, miss. I was going to say...
Is it Queen Ellie Hoiberg or is it Queen Ellie Bergfeld? Which one is it, Ellie? Because I just want to know which one it is, because I want to make sure I know, you know?
I'll have to have a look through the thing and see if we've got national anthem or something. Seems like royalties in here.
Anyone else in? Anyone else in?
Nita. I'll get back to the rest of the comments in a minute. Good evening.
Good evening, Nita.
We'll see you in the pub as well in not an hour now, isn't it?
An hour or so.
Yeah, an hour or so.
Yeah.
Happy days. We'll be done by 9:30. You're gonna have a cup of tea before you get on.
Cup of tea and
at
quick
the latest, Nige. You tell us if you've got to go, Nige, because you said you had other stuff to do, didn't you?
Well, I've just got to prep, make up some questions from somewhere, pull them out of my arse.
No, don't worry about that. Jesus. How much prep do you reckon we do for this show?
I want to praise someone on your show, mate. And that is it Lisa on your show? She is brilliant. Yep. She is a dynamite. I'm not going to lie. She is. Is it her? She is funny as hell. I love her, you know. She's brilliant.
Yeah, Lisa.
Yeah,
there you go. It's Lisa.
Yeah, that's the one. She is absolutely brilliant. She makes the show for you, man. And you can see that you can see the love between you and her. Nice, man. You can see it, bro. Funny.
No. It's a lot. It's the love between Lisa and Nigel's son. Me and Nigel and done because we're too old.
Yeah, me and Sheriff are jealous. We're just like, what? We want some attention. Come on.
Yeah. No, there's no attention for us old gits.
Oh, you lot, man. I'm in the middle. You lot do understand, don't you, that when you change the subject, what I was going to talk about next just goes straight out the window. It's gone. I can't even remember.
Yeah, I do apologise, mate. This is meant to be a football show, isn't it?
Lads, next question, right? How do we beat Man United on Wednesday? How do we really do it? Is it a case of being solid, hitting them on the break? Do we just try and play football? What do we do? I know we don't. I think we got to stop 2-0-8. I know that.
Yeah. Well, you just got to stop. What's his name? The danger man. The one you was on about.
They got a few, Mark. It ain't just Fernandez. You know, if you're gonna let Diallo have the ball, then you're in trouble. Well, if you let him run at you. Do you know what I mean?
But he's the one that sort of runs it, isn't he? For them. But I think if you keep him quiet, there's not a lot going on.
To be fair, they have got a few out injured as well, haven't they?
Yeah.
You know,
I want to see a performance like Frankfurt away.
Yeah.
I'd take that. I don't care. I don't care if it's the most boring 0-0 game and we score in the 87th minute.
I'll take that.
No, you know what I mean? I don't care if it's a crap game, man. Just 1-0.
Yeah.
I feel it's going to be. I feel it's going to be a stink fest. A stink fest, ball fest. You name it, you like it. I think it's going to be one of them games there because I see both teams. The problem with me is that Man United have actually played decent football in this tournament. They've played some decent teams in this tournament, more better than the ones that Spurs have faced to get through. I always felt that side of the draw was the strongest side. The one with Bilbao, the one with Roma was the strongest side of the draw. And Man United have somehow come through that side of the draw, and they've beaten Bilbao and they've beaten Sociedad to get to the final. Spurs have beat Bodo and they've beaten Frankfurt. Yes, Frankfurt was a what if game. We didn't know who was, but Bodo. Spurs should be rolling Bodo. Where the Norwegian league in terms of world rankings? They're low, bro. So you should be beating, but all ends up you should be beating Bodo, which is why I was just messing about. I was like, you know what, Bodo beat them. It has to have a laugh at Spurs' expense because you should be beating Bodo. No disrespect, the Norwegian league is not the best league in the world. People were taking a look at the Bundesliga last year saying it was a farmers' league. Well, guess what? The Norwegian league's lower than that, mate. So what is the Norwegian league? Yeah, if the Bundesliga is a farmers' league, brother, real talk. That is a bad league. But Bodo made it to the final. And fair play to Bodo, man, to make it to the semi-final because they beat Lazio to get there. And I watched both games. I didn't watch the Spurs game. I watched the Lazio-Bodo game. And fair play to them because the first game, they dominated Lazio. But back to the point of Man United versus Tottenham, when I look at the way Man United are at the moment in time, Spurs are going to have to make it solid at the back. They have to stop. They have to cut up the passing lanes for Bruno Fernandes. They have to make sure that the wing backs know exactly where Ahmad and Garnacho are, right, and they don't push forward and allow them to have spacing behind, which is what I can see happening. You can't allow them to have spacing behind because they will rip you at the back. You're gonna have Romero and Van der Ven switched on because you're going to have Højlund up there, and Højlund's not the most prolific striker in the world. But if he's got a chance, as we've seen against Atletico Bilbao, he will score. Because that's the kind of player he is. And I wouldn't be surprised if he scores in this game. After the bashing that we've given him over the years, a lot of Premier League fans have given him over the years. I won't be surprised if this is the moment the man steps up and has a barnstorming game. That's just Spursy for me, if he does have a barnstorming game. But if Spurs nullify that threat, and then they can just sneak it down the other end, I think Spurs can win the game. But it depends what Ange does, and for me. These injuries have given a lot of chances to the likes of Jed Spence and the likes of Archie Gray and the likes of Bergwijn, who wouldn't have got the minutes they had had it not for the injuries. And this is the bit that people forget. Oh, the injuries, but you wouldn't have seen the likes of Archie Gray play minutes. Even though he's not ready for the league, he wouldn't have had minutes if it wasn't for the injuries. You wouldn't have seen the likes of Jed Spence. People were raving about all season, well, when he came in December and November. People wouldn't have seen Jed Spence had it not be for the injuries. So the injuries are also a blessing in disguise. And injuries right now, are going to tell me exactly how good Ange is a manager and a tactician as well. Because a game of chess, you're going to have to think on your feet. And this is what I want to see, how good Ange Postecoglou is as a manager. Can he do a Glasner, where he's just gone out there and proved himself against Pep Guardiola that he can out-strategize him on the day? Is Ange able to do that? That is the question I have.
Yeah. Nige, thoughts on that?
Well, obviously they're beatable because we've beaten them 3 times already this season. But it's just a different game in so many ways. It's a final. Manchester United are serial winners. They're mentality monsters when it gets to finals. You look how many finals they've been in, and you don't expect them to do anything, and they get over the line. So this is a massive game for Tottenham. I expect United to come out all guns blazing. And like Philly says, it's going to be interesting to see what Ange does, because Ange, with his foresight, with Maddison there, with Kulu there, with Bergvall fit, you would expect him just to go head to head and just for it to be a shootout like it has been in the other games, really.
Yeah.
Now, with no creativity, it's going to be interesting to see how he sets up, whether he plays more defensive, whether we hit him on the break, whether we try and beat him on set pieces. And for me, what worries me the most, and I think Short says it, Slaphead worries me. Maguire from set pieces is a real concern, because I don't think we're the best at defending set pieces, and I think United are pretty strong. So it's going to be tough. This game could go either way. I think we are going to have to be at our best, and I do think United are going to have to be slightly off it for us to win, if I'm honest. Just from what I saw the last couple of games, because United are starting to look decent, even though they're losing. They're not playing badly, whereas we're just playing badly.
Just say big up to Phil Coys.
Big up, Phil.
Another member of the Phil Army. Fellow member of the Phil Army, Philly.
Big up, Phil Army, the ones there. Phil Coyce, big up Phil Coyce, because he's got some of the. Actually, other than Matty K, he's got some of the most worst footballing opinions. Phil Coyce. He is awful.
Philly's calling them all out tonight.
Sometimes I agree with Phil, but I'm not going to say it just because I don't want to get shit too.
Can I go in and edit the title? Philly calls out everybody.
Oh, brilliant. I love it, man. It's brilliant. Fantastic stuff. Mark, what do you think, mate? How do you think Ange gets over the line on Wednesday? Is it Ange? Is it the players? Is it both? It's a final at the end of the day. If they can't get up for this, they're not getting up for anything, are they?
Well, obviously, mate. Yeah. I mean, this is what the season hinges on, isn't it? To be honest, we've played 37 league games now. It's felt like about 138, but like it's all led to this. The 37 league games we played just were not a bother. Well, we haven't bothered, have we? To be honest, but to be honest, I want him to play like we did against Frankfurt. Honestly, I do. I don't care if it's a boring stinkfest. Because no one was expecting us, the way Ange normally plays, no one was expecting us to go to Germany and get a 1-0 win. I think it was 1-0, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was 1-0 in Frankfurt. No one was expecting that. Because in the group chats and that, we were all saying, it's going to be 2-1 or something, extra time and whatever, No one was expecting us to go there and beat them. So it's like I said, I don't care if it's the stinkiest, smelliest game ever. Stink the place out, just win 1-0, that'd do me.
Yeah, but Mark, the only thing that game frustrating that Frankfurt game, because in the second half, all season, we've been calling out for a three at the back, haven't we?
Yeah.
Right. In that Frankfurt game, why first time in 2 years he actually played three at the back here? He actually dropped Danzo. He actually put Danzo in the middle here of Romero and Van der Ven to make three at the back, and you're thinking, why did you just do it then? Why haven't you done it before?
To be honest, Philly,
you to do that.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I think it's because he knows. Well, I think he knows anyway that he's gone. But at that time, I think he knew that if we didn't win this competition, his ass was up the road.
Yeah, but
he was out.
Yeah, but we were just talking about having defensive security where Mark just said 4-5-1,
Yeah.
Right, if we played three at the back and had a proper solid three at the back, it would allow the wing backs to push forward,
of course,
and attack while we still have defensive cover at the back. But then this is another one of where I agree with Salvo in this, right? In 2 years, we have not bought one defensive midfielder yet, and you can see we need a DM in that position, bro. And we've not bought one in 4 windows, In 2 years, we haven't bought one, and that's indicative of this manager that he refuses to play with a 6 in there, and you're making makeshift players play in that position, and defensively, that's why we're weak defensively because Assuma is not a DM. Neither is Bentancur. It's not a single DM. Bentancur plays in a double pivot, but he's not a single DM. He's not good enough to play as a single DM. I'm sorry, he's not. And then you've got the other players as well, yeah, that he's forcing in there, yeah, to try and see if it works. But they don't work because they're not a natural. They don't have the discipline to play as a DM, and that's for me, yeah, is why we just get ripped apart, yeah, like something out of the Ten Commandments. You know, when Moses parts the Dead Sea, the thing just opens up. That's what I saw many times in the season, and I'm like, yo, I didn't want to see any more of that. Oh, why am I watching this? It's just not right, man. How, and yet we will still play that way, even though you know that you're missing players to play. And that for me was the bit that I just didn't understand. And even when I watched Frankfurt, and you talk about the Frankfurt game, we saw things that even against Bodo, the second leg, when he played 5 in midfield, yo, why was he not doing that before? Why are we doing it now? When before, if you had done it before, Spurs could have been in a lot different position than we are now. So why have you now flipped the script? That means that you could have done it all the time. You just didn't want to do it. And that's the bit that annoys me as a fan. Is that he could have done it at any moment. He just chose not to do that.
Yeah.
It's definitely cost us in the league, hasn't it? Definitely.
Oh.
Definitely. Right, we got what? We got another special mention in the chat. You're a bit early, mate. You're a bit early.
A long night.
Come on, the squirrel. Come on, the squirrel.
You're a bit early, mate.
Big up the innocent squirrel.
Now, to innocent squirrel, if you haven't watched, go back and watch. Wasn't a couple of weeks ago, Mud in the Pub?
Yeah.
And I was talking about eating roadkill. And that Hugh Friendly-witted stone that lives down the road from me, I've seen him eating squirrels and stuff. And then this account appeared in the chat, innocent squirrel.
Brilliant, mate.
Boxes.
It's fantastic, isn't it? Eh?
Yeah. So big up, mate, but you're a bit early for the pub show.
Yeah, but I have to go to bed soon, guys.
Here we go, look. Yeah. Here we go, look.
You can't blame him getting some kip and getting away from you, can you?
I never said I'd had one. I just said that the bloke down the road from me, he was on the telly and that. He used to go out collecting roadkill and that. And like eating it.
Madness. Mad. Mark, have you still got that thing that we was talking about earlier? That league table?
Yes, mate. Hang on, I just...
I'm just going to change tact a little bit, chaps. Mark's going to put the table up on the screen.
I will do now. Yeah. Big up, what's the point? Right, I will...
Big up.
I'll see if I have got the that. Yes, I think so.
You'll find
Hang on, I got to remember what buttons to press.
You'll get there in a minute.
There you go. Is that it?
Hang on. Something's coming up. Here we go. Right.
Are we done?
Sorry, it's there, Mark. It's there. Sorry, it's a bit... It is. We can see it, Mark. I can see it, so I'm sure everyone else can. I haven't got my glasses on. So, yeah, it's okay. Now, I just wanted to have a little chat about this because Mark and myself, and possibly Nigel, I can't remember, earlier in the season.
It was our first show, wasn't it?
It was our first show that we did. And
it's when we launched channel, mate.
Yeah, we spoke briefly about where we should be as a squad, maybe under a different manager that plays a different way, where we think that our team should be. All right? Now, obviously, we can all see where we are now, 21 defeats, more than likely to be 22, right? The way we're playing in the league. Be the worst season ever that I can remember from a Tottenham manager as far as the league position's concerned. Now, when you look at those teams above us, obviously, as teams under their managers this season, they've done better than us, you know, the likes of the Fulhams, the Palaces, even the Evertons. Look where Everton were earlier on in the season, way down below us. You know, Palace, you know, they hadn't won a game till we played them, you know. So when we look at our squad overall and what we've done, and I don't want to go for ages on it. I just want you chaps to have a few minutes each on it. What are your thoughts on that? Me personally, I'm like, you know what? We should be between 6th and 8th, something like that, as a squad. You know,
fifth, maybe fifth.
Yeah, you know what I mean. Why are we so bad in the league? Why won't he change his approach? Why is he just so steadfast in what he does at home, especially in the league, chaps?
I don't know.
Well, we went through it, didn't we?
I know we went through the squad. I know we went through that, Mark. But all I'm getting at is we're later on in the season now. We spoke about it when we were sort of probably a quarter of the way through the season, didn't we?
Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah. You know, we didn't know it was going to be this bad.
No. What?
At the time,
the only thing
we was steadily declining.
Yeah.
As Sava says, are we going to get to the bottom of the V? You know what I mean? So are we at the bottom of the V now? He goes in the summer, wins us the Europa Cup. And next season, new manager in, and hopefully we'll be sort of fighting for European places.
Well, if we're not at the bottom of the V, mate, we'd be bloody relegated.
There you go.
You know what I mean? So, you know, but to be honest, I was going to say, to be honest though, like, when we did it, we were like, we put us somewhere between 5th and 8th, didn't we?
Something like that.
In the thing, but like, you know what I mean? And I know at the start of the season, like, there was a load of us, me included, I said I'd take 17th and a cup. So it's been that bloody long since we won one. I did say it. I think I said it on this channel, or one of them I was on. I said I'd take 17th and a cup. But in context, not in any way, shape or form did I think we would be 17th. You know, you sort of say, I'd take 17th in a cup is a bit of a jest, you know, just to win a bloody cup. You say, as long as we don't get relegated, I'd take a cup. So when I said I'd take 17th in a cup, not in a million years did I think we'd be 17th. No. At the worst from Tottenham, I'd expect us to be mid-table, 12th, maybe. You don't expect us to be like 17th, do you? Never.
No. And not on 21 losses either.
No.
Before the season, I said I'd take a season like United, finish 8th, and take a trophy. I would have said finish 8th, have a bit of respectability, have a bit of pride and an ounce of shame about yourself, and think, you know what, I don't want to be down the bottom being up in the relegation zone. Right, even though the fans bashed the 90s for being in the relegation zone, right? I didn't want to be down the relegation zone. I said I'll take a season like United, finish 8th, and take a trophy. But you know me already, Cookmeister. You know where I'm going with this one. This is a brilliant one. I love it because I grew up watching TV shows as a child, and there's one show that Ange is made for perfectly, and that is we need to bring out Roy Castle, mate. Roll him down the hill, brother, because you know what Ange is, brother. Ange is a record breaker. Yes, he is, brother. Every bad negative record. What was it? Boys lost his 21 lost, brother. He broke the record, man. He smashed the record apart, brother. We have to give him we have to give him a little trophy for that one, bro. That record breaker trophy, man, just for Ange, bro. That's what I want to give him at the end of the season.
Yeah, man. Yeah, Mark, what do you think, mate? What are you thinking here? Being this shocking over the course of the season. Here's another question for you. Does in your three minds, we've got to the final, but does it demean it at all for you that? I mean, I know you can only play what's there to play, but does it demean it at all for anyone that has been Bodo and it has been AZ Alkmaar and you know, Frankfurt were sort of, yeah, well, they're decent. Let's see if we can get past them, sort of thing.
Yeah.
Does it taint it at all for you? I mean, it doesn't for me personally. You can only play who you've got. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But you know, I know a lot of people say, "Oh, we've only played these and we've only played these, so we should be winning it." You know,
it feels different than 2019, doesn't it? When we had beat some decent teams to get the check. You know, we beat City and Ajax, and I think we played Barcelona that year as well in the group stage. You know what I mean? Because we had to get a draw to qualify, didn't we? And we drew 1-0 at the bloody Nou Camp.
Yeah.
You know, it's
like, no disrespect to you. You remember the Euros with England? This is what reminds me of England.
Yeah.
England had an easy route to the final. They found themselves that they had to beat Slovenia. They had to beat the hardest team they faced on the way to the final was Netherlands. And Netherlands were in transition anyway, right? So that was the hardest team they got to face in the Euros here. When they got to the Euro final, right, they faced Spain there, and they knew what time it was because Spain had beaten France to get there, right, and they had beaten other teams Germany to get there, and had played their way into the tournament, right. And when they got to the final, it was only a matter of time before they tore England apart, and the scoreline flattered England in a way I felt in that final, because really and truly, Spain was that good, and England tried their hardest. They got the goal back, and it was 2-1 in the end. But really and truly, when you look at it, England had an easy route to that final, and that felt like for me with Tottenham. You had an easy route to the final. The moment we played decent teams in this competition, Roma, it was like one-way traffic in that second half. Roma were all over. When you played the Rangers, go Power Rangers, man. They had dinosaur power. Now, that kind of thing there, they morphed in the tunnel before the game, brother. Mine's telling me that Tottenham are beating the Rangers. Rangers morphed in the tunnel before the game. What we doing here, bro? We were the second best team in that game. Rangers should have won that game, but Kulu scored and they scored the equalizer. We have not been good in this tournament, bro. But somehow, we have got our way to the final. Now, I want to know, are Spurs like England, or are they going to take it over the line? That's the question I have. But I'm thinking, that if it is like England, and I have this feeling it is, then Spurs will lose in the final because just the way I feel.
Yeah. Nige?
Yeah, I think we've had contrasting runs to the final, haven't we? Like Philly said, we have had an easy run. You know, when we were pretty average in the group stages. You know, we did kind of what we had to do, but we didn't pull up any trees. In the knockout stages, again, we've got the job done, but we haven't played any teams. But again, I kind of look at that and think, because when we were looking at the stages before, it was very much like, oh, Tottenham won't beat Frankfurt. We beat them.
Yeah.
Oh, we won't beat Lazio. Well, hang on, Lazio didn't even get through. And we can't help who we play, right? So we're playing who we've got. But United certainly seem to have had the bigger teams. You know, they beat Sociedad. They beat Lyon somehow when, you know, they were getting smashed at one point. And they've beaten Bilbao. So, but it's a final and you never know. Yeah. You know, it's 90 minutes or 120 minutes. But I think, looking at the league form and the way we played, it's been so disappointing. I just don't see how we get a performance out of them. It's just literally hope. That's all I've got.
Yeah. Just say good evening to Eugene.
Big up, Eugene.
Big up, mate.
All right, mate.
And now this one's a bit early as well.
Hey!
It's not mud in the pub yet. It's not mud in the pub yet. Mud in the pub's
we're there. We'll see you in about an hour. Get over to mud in the pub from 9:10, I believe it is.
Yeah, well, what's it now? Is it 9 o'clock or 10 past? What's that?
9, it's probably 10 past, quarter past.
Yeah. It'll be at some stage.
Make sure the chat gets over to no mud in the pub at 10 past, quarter past 9.
If I could redirect, I would, but I don't know how to do it.
Right. Well, I'll tell you what we're going to do, lads, because I want to give Nige a bit of time. He's got things to do. So we'll wrap up. First show back. I'm glad I've got through an hour because that was my plan anyway. It's been
hour and a quarter, mate. You're done.
So we've done all right.
Hour and a
Before we
quarter,
go,
mate.
lads, before we go, give us your score predictions for Wednesday night, please. Philly.
I'm going to give you guys hope. I'm going to say 2-1 or 1-0 Spurs. How about that?
Happy days. Nige?
Right, similar. I think it'd be 2-1, but it'd be after extra time.
Happy days. Sheriff?
It's going to be a tough game. 5-0 Spurs.
Behave yourself. Come on, man. You don't truly believe that.
No. I'll be honest, mate. I don't care as long as the bit in the top left or bottom left, wherever it is, says that we got more than them. I don't care if it's 1-0.
Fair dues, man.
You know what
Fair
I mean?
dues.
Just win the damn thing.
Yeah.
To be honest, man. 2008 is a long time ago, man.
Yeah.
What's that? 17 years.
Yeah.
17 bloody years. And going back to what we watched earlier, some of us watched earlier, the FA Cup final. If someone had told me in 1991, when we won it for the record 8th time at the time, that'd be it now. I was coming up 21 when we won that, right? I'm mid-50s now. And if someone had said me then, Spurs will not get into another cup final until you're like in your mid-50s at least, wouldn't have believed them. I thought they'd have been smoking crack or something, you know?
Yeah.
Because we've been in, four? 4 in 10, 11 years, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Won 3, lost 1. Mm-hmm. You know, and if someone had said then, you won't see another one till you're like 50 odd, 60, whatever, I'd have never believed them. Yeah. Never in a million years. I was so jealous at the end. When you saw Palace walking up them steps and that. It's like what? Why?
I was quite emotional. Emotional.
Yeah.
Got a little bit in there. It's like, I don't know whether it's jealousy or just, I don't know.
It is jealousy.
Envy. Yeah.
But I'm going for 2-1. 2-1 to Spurs.
Oh,
come on, lads.
4-2 Spurs has come in from Eugene.
Eugene's gone 4-2. I'm going 2-1 Spurs in 90 minutes.
Oh, and we got a Spurs win on pens from audio.
90 minutes. That'll do me. And on that note, people.
Hang on a minute, mate.
Philly for you. You keep scrolling. Philly. Can you take the comments off, Mark, so Philly's channel comes up in his name bit at the bottom?
Well, give me 2 seconds.
Oh, hang on. Yeah. I'll find a bloody comment now. Here we go.
Right, first and foremost, let me just pick up someone else who's recovering, and that is my brother, Brian Daigle.
Yeah.
My support goes out to you as you're in a recovery, my friend.
Yes,
because, so that's the first person I need to replace. And then the second one is come over to our channel, Blockbuster Movies, Games and Television, where we talk about everything. We've done a few stuff so far about Deadpool, about Daredevil, but we are going to be expanding on that hopefully soon with me and Vinketic and Corey Boy when he's ready. We're going to be talking about other stuff, and we're going to have some guests on there hopefully talking about shows that are coming out at the moment. We're hopefully to do a Marvel one to recap, and then we're going to move on to some other forms of media. And like I said, we've got guests coming on there to have a good conversation with us as well. We're hoping to have the 2 Marks at some point, and my mate down here, Nige, next to me, and a few others as well. So big up and thank you very much for having me on, Mark.
I'll be honest, Philly. I know you're on your phone now, aren't you?
Yeah.
When we fix, I was looking for your channel and I can't find it. So send me the link to it. And I'll make sure when you come on again, the link's like in the chat.
No, thank you very much.
I can't find it in the YouTube thing.
Yeah, I'll get it. I'll send it over to you on WhatsApp, mate, and then you'll
yeah. If you send it to me on WhatsApp, mate, because I haven't been able to manage to sub to it yet, so I can't find it. I know we've been discussing this, and I've been looking and looking for it. I can't find it, but I'm useless, mate. It's probably me. It's not like YouTube.
It's definitely Sheriff. It's definitely him. Or is it
You're pointing the wrong way, man.
Anyway, Nige, make sure everyone subscribes to Nige. Nige, have you got anything coming up, mate?
I've got Mud at the pub at
Yeah.
about 9:15 tonight. So we will be talking all things Tottenham. We will be going through cup finals, remembering old times.
You're not talking about
And
football, are we?
we've got, it's big cup finals. We've got to talk a little bit about football, and then we'll be talking about Sheriff socks for most of the evening.
No, we
Whee! Happy days. Brilliant stuff. Please, everyone, make sure to go over to subscribe to Philly. A great man. Got his channel open now. Crack on over there and sub to him and the lads. Please sub to Nige at Pure Coys. He's always sticking stuff out there. Make sure you get over to him. Sub to us and like the stream. Hit the notification bell. That'll be absolutely fantastic. Thanks again, you two. And on that note, it's a good night from me.
And it's a good night from him.
Come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs. And well done, mate. You made it for an hour and 20 minutes.
Brilliant.
Big up.
Thank you very much. Cheers,
Good night.
people. Have a good evening.
Good night.